So let's go there, as I believe the millennials say. I think that's the way the kids put it. Let's talk about the millennials.
Aren't you a millennial?
What's that?
Aren't you a millennial?
I'm not a millennial. I'm not close, unfortunately. But it seems like every year this is one of the major themes of G2E, and certainly it should be, right, is the next generation of customer and what's being done in environments like each of yours to reach out to that customer. So let's go there and hear a little bit about how you all are engaging millennials or not. I remember last year on this very stage listening to Jamie Odell of Aristocrat and talking about his background with Foster's, where for years and years and years they tried to get 20-somethings to drink wine. They finally figured out how to do it. We got 20-somethings to drink wine when they turned 30. And to some degree, there's a parallelism with a lot of gaming operators, right? A lot of gaming operators, I think, understand that dynamic in similar ways, perhaps. So where are all of you relative to the millennial, the kids these days? You want to start, Greg?
Sure. Today, the millennial, if you look at the millennial segment, it's actually a fairly small segment for us for the reasons you said, basically. So on the slot side, roughly 13% or so of our actual customers are millennials, but they only represent about 2.5% of slot win. So a typical millennial literally spends in a year 1/10 of what a baby boomer will spend in the casino. But that number is growing pretty substantially. The last 3 years, it's up about 15%. So over time, that segment's going to get much bigger for us. On the table side, they make up roughly 17.5% of the table customers, but 10% of the table win. And it's interesting that segment, the millennials, are the only segment that we have that come to our properties that where table games actually generate more revenue for that segment than slot machines. So I think that that going forward, there's things that we're doing. We're looking at, for example, just on the simple stuff side, we're looking at making sure we have ubiquitous and great Wi-Fi and cell coverage in our casinos. The millennials have their smartphones and they want to be on them all the time. And one of the things I've challenged our table guys to come up with is, it happens in poker, but generally casinos won't allow you to have your cell phone out when you're playing a table game because they're worried about game protection. And there's a risk there, but I think it's a pretty small risk. And I think if we do a good job training our table folks, that we can, we should be able to allow customers to have their cell phones at the table. So that's a small thing, but a big thing for the millennials. And the last thing I would say is that you're starting to see around the country, or North America actually, some interesting gaming environments that are appealing to millennials. Some of my colleagues were just up in Quebec at Casino LeMay, and they have a thing called the La Zone, basically, and it's this big table game area. It's electronic table games with a DJ dealer and loud music, and it's lots of action activity. I think here in Las Vegas, if you go look at the new O'Shea's and the Link, we think that's a great spot for millennial gaming. And in fact, we borrowed that concept for one of our new properties because we like it so much. A similar layout to what they've done there. And then, Labo Casino just opened up at the Venetian or at the Palazzo with trying to attract more millennial type play.
So Gavin, as I'm driving by your gorgeous new facilities along the 215 freeway here, one of the very frequent billboards is Palm Mortuary. Not to drag things down too much, but it's a great advertising campaign in that it reminds you of their product, but in a friendly way of sorts. It says, "Please don't drink and drive. We'd rather wait." Right? Palm Mortuary. So keep that in mind. On the slot side, would you rather wait for your customer to age into the product, or are you confident that you can boldly go in with younger folks as opposed to waiting for them to age into your categories?
I think the answer is both. I mean, as Greg said, when you turn a certain age and your kids have gone and all of that, and you have more time on your hands and you have more money to dispose of, you're obviously more valuable for a recreational kind of entertainment purpose. So you've always got to look after that segment, and that's always going to be your sweet spot. But as people who've grown up with mobile technology, in groups where they communicate electronically and things like that, you have to have those games that it's going to appeal to. So if we don't innovate in all those spaces, it's not going to work in the long run, and we're going to find things diminishing. As Mark said earlier, that I think there's great opportunities to attract more people, be they millennials or otherwise, to environments where people can come for great entertainment, great fun, great restaurants, great dining, great shopping, if you like clubs like you do, nightclubs, but also great gaming and have great experiences. And there shouldn't be a huge difference between what they can do on their cell phone or on their computer as to what they do in a casino, but the casino environment should make it more appealing for them to come. So it's important that we innovate in all those product lines. So we innovate in our slots. You've got to innovate in electronic tables. I think electronic tables are a great medium. Greg mentioned that we've got customers who are building environments for exactly, to try different things for the incremental dollars. So tables are obviously, with all that table side, we always see tables, pumped and happy people around them. And again, I think some of the things like cell phones, shuffles get rid of those kind of problems. So there's lots of innovations out there which can help us change the way we do things. And I think it's incumbent upon us to work with our customers to provide those experiences. So you grab all people, but I think to go out there and say that we're going to go and market to 30-year-olds and we're going to change the world, it's a little bit naive.
At Caesars, we're working really hard right now on the casino of the future. We're actually going to have a live casino that'll be on the Strip. We'll have rotating walls and we can change the venue real time. That's in progress right now. We're building it inside one of our casinos right now, so it'll be like a casino within a casino. And we'll be experimenting there and looking at millennials and how they react to different venues that we create. Not just looking at the games and the game product, but also the interior and making people feel at a slot machine they have their own space versus they got to sit next to someone they may not want to sit next to. So we think there's a big opportunity, as Gavin said, to create a new environment and at the same time new games, right? So as it relates to millennials, I don't see them, right now they're 34% of our workforce and baby boomers are 32%. So they've already eclipsed, if you will, the baby boomers. The time is now. As an outsider coming into the industry, I can tell you right now, I'm shocked at the lack of innovation attracting millennials in gaming product as well as in our own casino environment. So I'm not pointing fingers. In fact, what I see in the industry is a lot of pointing fingers. And it's like, this is the time we're at an inflection point where we need to cooperate, get together, and actually partner on innovating and creating platforms, if you will, for growth in the future. We've experimented an awful lot with the concept of changing, for example, slot play, integrating a community environment, leadership boards, all those things that go with social and mobile games. And we're seeing revenue lifts on a typical machine of anywhere from 15 to 20%. Now, I don't think that would happen, but in the tests we've done, it does. If we could get a 2% lift or a 3% lift, that would be unbelievable, right, for the whole industry. But we know that the concept is certainly powerful, and we know that it's just a matter of getting through regulation, and the regulators have just opened the door. They've set up a new set of regulations that allow us to interact and do it in a way that's innovative and do it in a social way, so, in a skill-based way, right? So I think the door is open, and we now have to walk through the door, and I think partnering is the way to do that.